Hi friends, welcome to this latest episode of the Nationalist View. We have with us Mr. Salahuddin Chaudhary Saab. Sir, thank you so much for coming on our show. And Mr. Chaudhary is a very well-known international journalist. He's based out of Dhaka. He's editor-in-chief of Bangladesh leading newspaper Blitz. And Blitz also runs a YouTube channel apart from that. Mr. Chaudhary writes for several international publications and journals also. He appears regularly on most of the top global television shows as an expert, especially on counterterrorism and Islamic radicalization. Sir, my first question is that what is the latest update which we have on the bombing in Iran, which is happening, especially on its nuclear facilities? Uh, is Pakistan also playing a role? The Pakistani General Asim Munir's recent visit to US. So was it primarily basically because Pakistan and Iran share about 900-kilometer border, and Pakistan probably has to be the US is showing so much of bonhomie to Pakistan because they want to use Pakistan as a base from where they can carry out strikes, or they are carrying out strikes that you will tell us basically to our viewers. So, sir, what is the latest update? And especially with a little bit focus on Pakistan when it comes to Israel-Iran war. So, please, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, when Asim Munir went to White House for having lunch with President Trump, you and many of us, we understood that it is not a mere lunch. There are certain things behind the screen. And definitely Asim Munir has given nod to Donald Trump's plan of attacking Iran. And accordingly, the attack took place. But the most important thing here is like this GBU 57 aircraft, which has already dropped 12 bombs on Iran. We know that those were not from the Guam base because those GBU 52 are on the way to Guam on Saturday when it took place. So this GBU 52 actually took off from some other place, and definitely it is Pakistan. Iran has officially now said that Pakistan allowed US in using its airspace. But I should say it's not only airspace, Pakistan has also allowed US in using its airbase. And definitely Pakistan is a radical, ultra radical Islamist nation. A lot of pro Iran and pro Hamas sympathizers in Pakistan. They will come on the street with protests, including Imran Khan's Tehreek-e-Insaf Pakistan, Pakistan Muslim League, Jamaat Islami, others. So I think by next 72 hours or maximum 1 week, Asim Munir is going to proclaim martial law, Shehbaz Sharif, and Pakistan will again enter into an era similar to that of General Ziaul Haq.
So, sir, what are its implications for Bangladesh and India? The way things are moving, as you said, that Asim Munir is likely to impose martial law. And anyway, uh, Pakistan is being used in the Israel-Iran war by US. Going ahead, we see basically the clout of Asim Munir increasing significantly within the Pakistan's domestic polity also. So what are its implications? Because we must remember that he was the one who revoked or who invoked again the two-nation theory, after which the Pahalgam incident happened, and then Operation Sindoor happened. And if you listen to his speeches, so he's a rabid Islamist. So, what are its implications for these current developments? What are the implications for Bangladesh and India?
Asim Munir actually, as you have rightly said, that he is another Khomeini more than him. So and a few weeks ago, immediately after the Pahalgam massacre, Pakistani Defense Minister he admitted to Sky News that Pakistan has been doing the dirty job on behalf of US and Western countries. So definitely Pakistan has already sent Iran to the slaughterhouse, and now they will do the dirty job on behalf of the US. Now the implications about India and Bangladesh. Unfortunately, Bangladesh has a regime which is seriously inclined towards Pakistani ISI and also US deep state. Now, I think with this Asim Munir, this new um, role, if he proclaims martial law, in fact, he will. In that case, it will rather uh, give empower the Islamists in Bangladesh, particularly those pro-Pakistan and pro-ISI forces. And then, uh, if you have read my recent article, which was protested by Jews, so I think that there will be lots of terrorists, ISI trained terrorists, infiltrating from Bangladesh to India, because Asim Munir, now he will be busy in doing that dirty job for America, and he would like to keep India busy with by opening another front, which is the eastern border of India. So I think this is a very sensitive situation, time for India to be cautious, keep watch on what's happening, and and also take preparations in case there is something from Bangladesh soil. India will have to take the due course of action.
Sir, you have talked about your recent article. In fact, I also wanted to discuss because it has attracted, huge attention. And so, uh, you've spoken about, the role of the US deep state in Bangladesh. So, and especially in context of, uh, making Yunus regime, dismantle the Bangladesh army. Then you've talked about creating an Arakan corridor for the US wants to basically take away all the rare earth metals from Myanmar, so that Arakan corridor, which will help basically the Arakanese army, a rebel faction which is fighting against military junta in Myanmar, and military junta is supposed to be backed by China. So that's some basic information for our viewers. So could you please elaborate about these things that one, the this Arakan corridor thing. We have talked about it earlier also, but the latest updates, and you could give an overview. Two, that how basically the US deep state is actually basically supporting Islamists in Bangladesh, and third, how Bangladesh army is looking at this whole situation, especially with the efforts by Yunus regime to dismantle the Bangladesh army.
Anandji, you know, and everyone knows that US deep state has been the facilitator of jihadism, whether it is Al Qaeda, Islamic State, Boko Haram, Al Shabaab. These entities were established by US deep state. Now, the US deep state is actually in Bangladeshi soil. There are actually, and at this moment, these are two fronts. One front played by the US deep state, as you mentioned, corridor to Arakan state, taking our Chittagong port, establishing an air base in Lalmonirghat, taking the San Martin Island from Bangladesh. This is one side. And on the other side, Pakistani eye side. In Bangladesh, there are at this moment 600,000 stranded Pakistanis. I mean, those who did not opt for becoming Bangladeshi citizen after the independence of this country, and they wanted to return to their motherland, Pakistan. So those 600,000 uh, stranded Pakistanis, who are commonly known in Bangladesh as Biharis, there are several camps in Dhaka cities, Mirpur area, Mahmudpur area, in the northern part of the country, in Saidpur district. So since 2022, Pakistani ISI has been picking up youths from this Bihari community, I mean, studied Pakistanis, male and female, and taking them to Pakistan under various covers, like as business people or terrorists, etc. And they were given 180 days training on making of ID and other terrorist activities. So this began in 2022. But immediately after the 2024 jihadist coup in Bangladesh, 5th of August, when Pakistani ISI got the license to operate almost openly, freely in this country, they began sending those trained started Pakistanis inside India. And amongst those trained started Pakistanis, there are a group which is expert on making IED. Some groups are ready for uh, volunteering as suicide attackers. Also, they have infected some of the standard Pakistani females with HIV, and they are entering India for the job of cook, butlers, barbers, uh, domestic help, etc. But because they are very much fluent in Urdu and Hindi, these standard Pakistani, so it is very difficult to identify, differentiate uh, between them and the real Indian citizen. And you and I know there is organized network in West Bengal who are providing the Aadhaar card and other required documents to illegal infiltrators. And these standard Pakistanis, after obtaining the Aadhaar card, they don't stay in West Bengal. They are going to the Urdu speaking or Hindi speaking belt inside India. And they, as I said, they have expertise in making IED, suicide attack, even females carrying HIV virus with the assignment of spreading the virus among the Indian youths or males. So this is another front. ISI front, US Deep State front. Now, ISI, the operation, I mean, what we have mentioned, it is not harming China because China and Pakistan have some common agendas against India. But as far as US Deep State plot in Bangladesh, they want a corridor to Arakan state to supply weapons to Arakan army to topple the Myanmar military regime, which is actually Chinese pseudo government, I can say, proxy government. So once Myanmar is captured by US, they will try to further infiltrate inside China. And what Pakistani ISI is planning, maybe it has a lot of interest for interesting it is maybe a lot of interesting matter to China, but what US Deep State is doing, it is a matter of serious security threat to China. And it will actually bring China and India together in fighting the US Deep State conspiracy. So implications is like Yunus, Muhammad Yunus, he has publicly proclaimed, declared that he wants to give Chittagong port to American company, and he is also willing to give the corridor. And he is not saying, but he is giving, on the process of giving Lalmoni air base to Americans, San Martin Island. So this is a kind of the uh, heavy presence of America in this part of the world, which will not only threaten the national security of China, it will also threaten the national security of India. And as you know, as we know, that US Deep State, whenever they use some country or group of people for their own purpose, and then at one stage they abandon them. They have abandoned Saddam Hussein, they have abandoned Osama bin Laden, they will also abandon Yunus. But our concern is before that, Yunus causes a severe damage to Bangladesh's own sovereignty and also India and neighboring countries' national security. Now about Bangladesh Army. Yunus wants to dismantle the Bangladesh armed forces and our intelligence agencies and replace them with the Islamic Revolutionary Army. On the 5th of 6th of next month, he is going to proclaim so-called July Charter, which will uh, give him the right to change the type of his regime from interim government to revolutionary government. So once he becomes a revolutionary government, he has also declared that he is going to nullify the existing constitution of Bangladesh. I mean, the constitution of 1972. So once the constitution is nullified, then he can sack the president, he can sack the army chief, he can sack anyone. So Bangladesh really is at the risk of entering a time similar to that of the Iran when Ayatollah Khomeini returned to Iran. And remember, Ayatollah Khomeini came to Iran from France. Yunus came to Bangladesh also from France. So this is a mere coincidence maybe, but I mean, their modus operandi, their plot is same. So thanks God that Bangladeshis have already been alerted about this conspiracy. And you, as you mentioned, that when I published this article, there was a rejoinder from Yunus office and even pressure on us to retrieve that article or to issue a statement that it was not based on fact, but we are not going to do that. So when the nation comes to know, and particularly India, they've already come to know. China has also come to know. So I think now their whole project is going to fall flat. But again, returning to what's happening in Pakistan now, Pakistan joining the US and Israel against their common agenda of toppling the Khomeini or Mullah regime in Iran and bringing some democratic government in that part of the world. So Pakistan has already joined hands with them. But in their own country, Pakistan is heading towards a martial law, brutal martial law. But I think Pakistan ultimately, at the end of the day, Pakistan itself will be in the biggest mess.
Sir, one last question, and it's a very interesting, what you may call contradiction or a paradoxical situation. There is a large section of Baloch population in Iran also. And there is a Balochistan freedom movement which is going on in Pakistan also. And Israeli authorities have, my contacts in the Baloch freedom movement. So they mentioned it to me that the Israeli authorities have formally talked about Balochistan recently on social media. So the Israeli authorities are, of course, in their war with Iran, they want to, take up any such issue which can trouble Iran from inside also. But it will have, like you said rightly, that Pakistan is now aligning, with or Pakistan army is basically aligning with US and subsequently Israel also. So on one hand, basically they're aligning with them. On the other hand, Israel is also talking about Balochistan. And as the attacks on Iran will basically increase, so it is very likely that apart from the Kurdish movement, so there will be a big boost to the Baloch freedom movement also. Because Baloch freedom movement has been fighting against actually both Pakistan as well as Iran. So how do you see this situation developing, and will it add to the woes of to Pakistan?
Arunji, Israel is not a nation against Muslims, not at all. Israel has excellent relations with all the religions, including Muslims. Israel has beautiful relations with many Muslim nations in the Middle East also. What Israel is fighting now against the evil mullahs in Iran, who are also enemies of the Iranian mass people, I mean the Shias. And again, if Balochistan, as you said, Shia-dominated community. So as I said, Israel is the country supporting the right cause. So in Israeli judgment, Baloch people, they have the right to independence. That's why Israel is supporting. And as I said, Israel is never fighting any Muslim country or any Muslims in the world. Even in the so-called Palestine, they are not fighting with the innocent civilians. They're fighting with the terrorists. I'm sorry. In Iran also, they're fighting the terrorists because those terrorists are chanting slogan against Israel. They are demanding death to Israel, death to USA, and not only that, they are supporting all terrorist entities in the Middle East and other parts of the world. So Pakistan's joining US and Israel against Iran, this is very interesting. But as I said, Pakistani Defense Minister has publicly admitted that they do the dirty job for the US, UK, and other Western countries. So Pakistan is a kind of the mercenary nation. It is not a country, it's a mercenary entity filled with mercenaries, particularly its army, its intelligence, ISI. They all are mercenaries. You and I both don't have any problem with the Pakistani civilians, I mean citizens, general Pakistanis. We have no problem. But Pakistanis themselves are also held captive into the hands of their evil armed forces and their intelligence agency. So what we think that Pakistan has joined this war against Iran for its own financial benefit. As I said, they are doing the dirty job in their own words. But on the other hand, Israel is for the right cause. Israel has all the rights to protect its own national security and sovereignty. It is fighting a noble battle. And as far as Balochistan is concerned, actually Balochistan is an independent country. Pakistan is illegally occupying it. And I can tell you that by joining this war against Iran, Pakistan will be making new enemies in the so-called Muslim world. It will be even Muslim world, meaning not Muslim countries, Muslim communities. Even in India, you will see many Muslims, those who were worshipping Pakistan 4 days ago, they will start blasting Pakistan. So countries like Bangladesh, Malaysia, Indonesia, Maldives, and others, Pakistan is going to have lots of enemies in the Muslim community. But the good sign is that this will make Pakistan weaker because America is not going to stay with Pakistan forever. They are using Pakistan for a purpose. Israel is not using Pakistan. Israel does not need Pakistan even. Israel is doing its own job from its own soil, but America is using Israel, and yes, because this war is a joint war of Washington and Jerusalem, so Pakistan has joined. But for Pakistan, also consequences will be severe because, as you mentioned, it has 900 kilometers border with Iran. In case this war goes in favor of Tehran, in case there is no chance, but still, in case, then Pakistan will be destroyed. And in case the war is on the right side, Israel wins the war, then Asim Munir, although now he is going to proclaim martial law, but at the end of the day, he has to also surrender himself to the democratic forces. So after this war, there will be a wave of democracy in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, and end of the pro-Pakistan madness and anti-India madness also. It's a good news for India, good news for people like us, Bengalis, Bangladesh, and we are looking forward that Iranian mullahs are absolutely totally annihilated. Iran is liberated from these evil clutches Iranians deserve democracy, and they will have. And we, the people in Bangladesh and India and others, we also look forward that a devilish nation like Pakistan, which is only causing damage to its neighbors, it is better that it finally gets rid of this ISI and its military industrial complex.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, for bringing in this perspective. And to our viewers, if you have any questions for Mr. Chaudhary, please post them on the comment section of the YouTube. And we are also going to share the link of that article about which we have discussed today, which Mr. Chaudhary had written, and it caused basically, kind of a seismic movement in the Bangladesh power corridors. So we'll be sharing the link of that article, and you can go and read this article on the Blitz website also. We'll also be sharing the link of the YouTube channel of Blitz as well as the website URL of Blitz. So you can regularly keep on visiting at both these platforms to keep yourself updated about South Asia, Bangladesh, and the rest of the world, from especially from South Asia's perspective. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Chaudhary. Will be back soon with another conversation. We'll keep on tracking Bangladesh and Islamic radicalization issues with Mr. Chaudhary. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.